I always start debulking the wax with a wood hub brush B20 that I cut down, going through vertically and horizontally. It really helped with carving. Then we're going to start on the lingual, carving as much and exposing as much of the tooth as it'll allow us to. I'm going to speed it up just so you can see how I carve in the anterior versus the posterior. I always try to expose as much of the tooth as I can without compromising and exposing the actual tooth itself. When I start my festooning, I always start with my wax carver, and I go in between each tooth and go ahead and cut a V or a Y just to kind of start to add the detail of where the alveolar bone, essentially, of what we're trying to mimic is going to be. And then obviously you can see I'm going to speed it up, making sure any carvings, touching up any little carvings as I go through. But this is going to kind of start the process for when I come in with my next tool, my Lecron, and I carve kind of like a half arch around the cervical and carving all the way down, as you see right here. Trying to make sure that you're not carving all the way up to the cervical and leaving kind of a ledge to mimic kind of having a bone or a tooth into the alveolar bone. You're going to kind of connect those V's and or Y's, whichever one you preferred to do. You're just going to connect them by going a little bit down, carving, and then coming back up. Kind of imagine an imaginary half arch connecting all the lines. There is another tool called an Alkers that you can use instead of the Lecron if you want to cover more surface area. And don't worry about it being, 100% perfect, because we're actually going to come in with a toothbrush or a denture brush, whatever your preference is, and we're going to kind of smooth it and tap it. And that'll kind of give it the finalized look so you don't have as harsh of a line. As you can see, I'm connecting those two lines that we made previously, but I'm not going all the way up to the tooth. You're going to kind of keep the same depth all the way into the buccal vestibule through the anterior and posterior to kind of give it the uniform thickness that we're looking for. I always say you want to wax to finish to give yourself less time, or essentially more time, to finish later on. Okay, so the final part, this is the brush I was talking about. You're just going to do side-to-side movements, alternating what angle you do it at. And then you're going to also tap it. And this is going to kind of blend it and also give it this stipple-like look. This is going to fix any small imperfections that you didn't catch with the Alkers or the Lecron or whatever your preference was.